We're already starting off the day with these temperatures a little bit warmer than what we saw yesterday, but a little bit less humidity to go along with it.
This is where we're seeing some of the most intense rotation, and we're also seeing some of that debris where that green and that red are so close together like that. That is indicating those areas of very tight rotation. Loud music all the way though. If you ever hear like boom, boom at like 3, might be me. My bad, guys. Oh, you'll know I'm on the morning show that day. So be sure to wrap up those plants, cover them, bring them inside so that you're not waking up tomorrow with a bunch of dead plants. Could be seeing a bit more humidity pushing us into that Antarctica sounds nice category. My favorite game, let's play Find the Cold Front. We can see it right there. 30s, it's cold but not disgustingly cold, and then the 20s is when it's like, okay, my face hurts. Make you feel when we have this type of rain. An awesome weekend ahead to have a nice taste of fall before we warm back up for a lot of us next week. Hey Maddie, well, we are out here on I-90. We're standing in the middle of the road, but we're right in front of where this road closure is taking place now. Now, I've heard from a lot of people that have been in the area several years, and it's not very common that we see I-90 actually close due to flooding, especially this late in the season when we're not really seeing the flooding due to the snow melt. Usually when we have issues with flooding in this area, it's usually because of that snow melt, but for this time, it's really just going to be this rainfall. So we weren't able to get to where this road is actually flooded completely over due to we were driving in the pouring rain the whole way here, and traffic is going to be backed up quite a bit. If you look over to my shoulder, we can see all of these cars that are lined up getting off at this exit because this is right where this road has been blocked off. If we keep kind of panning further down this way, we can see where those cones are starting to guide all the cars over here. Now, it's not really raining at this point, but like I had just mentioned, we were driving through some very heavy rain, at times very hard to see. So travel's probably not ideal today, especially if you don't have to. If you are going to have to be out and about today, very important to be using extra caution and leaving yourself plenty of time to get to where you need to go. Further up on I-90, we've been told that the water is in fact up and over the highway in parts, and a lot of the fields around the area have also been flooded around the region. As we have been making our drive out here, again, we're outside of Worthington, right by exit 43. This is where the start of that closure on I-90 is. Now, on the way here from Mankato, we saw plenty of fields completely underwater, and it's really only going to get worse as we continue through the next couple of days. Especially later today, we're going to be seeing another round of some heavier rainfall, lots of us receiving several more inches of rain. So definitely an event to take seriously, and now's the time to start prepping for those flood plans, especially if you're someone that's likely to be impacted by all of this heavy rain. For now, I'm going to throw it back to you in the studio, Maddie.
Emily, it's been a crazy spring/winter. You know, a couple weekends ago we were talking about fire hazards and how dry it was, and now we're in a winter storm first alert day weather watch because of well, winter's here. Yeah, it's kind of bittersweet, I guess. Those of us that have been hoping for the snow, wanting the snow, it's here, but that also is going to bring along all the hazards with it, and it's kind of a repeat of, you know how at the beginning of winter everybody has to kind of find their groove again as far as driving in the snow and kind of getting their bearings again. So very important to be taking this kind of seriously. A lot of us going to be receiving some measurable snowfall. Not necessarily all of us, but especially further towards the north, more north central Minnesota, likely going to see a decent amount of snowfall coming out of this. But the system expands even past the snowfall totals. Really what we're looking at is just the precipitation in general and kind of the up and down temperatures with that too. We'll likely see travel impacted for quite a few days. As we can see with those first alert days, Sunday and through Tuesday also, we're going to see some heavy wet snow tomorrow, starting even tonight, going overnight into tomorrow. Accumulation likely during the afternoon. Monday we'll see that transition into rain and ice in some areas, and then that temperature drops heading into Tuesday, which again brings back those travel hazards. Radar and satellite shows a lot of snow
falling across most of our region at this point. Mankato has a pretty steady snowfall at this point, and we're going to continue to see that throughout the next couple of hours before we get a little bit of a break. Watches, warnings, advisories, a lot of things in effect tonight and into tomorrow. Some of these warnings even lasting into Tuesday morning and Tuesday afternoon. Mainly that winter storm warning is where we have the potential for some of those higher snowfall totals tomorrow. Mankato is right on the edge of that warning. North Mankato is included in that warning, so keep that in mind. But even Mankato, Waseca, Albert Lea, they're all sitting in that winter weather advisory, which is just kind of a step down from that winter storm warning. For our future cast, very important to keep an eye on those temperatures as well as where we're seeing the precipitation, because a major player in this system is going to be those temperatures. With those temperatures sitting very close to that freezing point of 32 degrees, it kind of means that we could see a mix of these precipitation types heading into the next couple of days. So with that in mind, we'll look through our future cast. We can see Sunday morning is when that heavier snowfall is going to begin. This is that main system that's going to be making its way through. By around lunchtime Sunday, that's when we'll likely see the heaviest band of snowfall. This is also when we'll see that transition start to take place. As we can see, those temperatures kind of right on the edge of the lower 30s, with 32 being that transition point. So it's really going to depend on when we see that transition happen. If we see it happen a little bit earlier, we'll likely see less snowfall than if we see that transition happen a little bit later. That being said, though, I did mention earlier, the main concern here is just going to be the travel conditions. Also expecting some very intense wind speeds as we head into the next part of this week. So even after that snow stops falling, we'll likely continue to see some blowing snow and some reduced visibility. So if you don't have to go anywhere this weekend, really don't. It's a good excuse to stay at home, watch some movies, maybe do some cleaning. And then at the beginning of this work week, you'll want to leave some extra time to get to where you need to go. As we can see Monday morning, that transition mostly into rain, but then later on Monday, that temperature drops back below that freezing point, likely transitioning a lot of that moisture into ice, which could, as you know, make some less than ideal travel conditions. We have first alert days in effect until Tuesday. We'll see that snow stick around for a couple more days before we warm back up into the upper 40s. We'll be right back.